everyone. Welcome to Construct Maharashtra's Mumbai Eastern Waterfront redevelopment project. Before I go into the project itself, I'd like to explain why we are doing this. Why is Construct Maharashtra suggesting a project of this size? Essentially, we are doing it to help Maharashtra recover its economy. The COVID-19 crisis has caused millions of people to lose their jobs. Many industries have been shut down. So we want to stimulate demand. And that is the main reason why we are going for this project. So given that, now that I've explained the reason for it, let me take you through the project and its details. This is an ambitious project and it was pretty interesting. So let's see how it goes. Yeah. The first time I made this presentation was to Mr. Nitin Gadkari in December 2013. And I later made it at the Asian Development Bank in Manila in June 2016. This is the project area. It stretches from Sassoon docks in the south of Mumbai to BPCL, HPCL, RCF refineries and fertilizer complexes in the Mahul area. So this is a pretty large stretch of land which we are looking at for redevelopment. This is how it looks today. In October 2020, we just see the dilapidated state of the old Mumbai port. So this is the area which is being considered right now for phase 1. We are going to talk about both phase 1 and phase 2. So we'll just come to that. These are the 11 projects being planned in the area. They are a financial district and a super tall buildings complex, university hub project, East Central Park. This is going to be an 18-kilometer long park into 400 meters. The island separation project, the affordable mass housing project. There's going to be a lot of mass housing coming up in this area. The Eastern Waterfront Marina and Liner Port, which is essentially part of phase 1. Mumbai Disneyland, the creation of protected and clean Flamingo Reserve. That Flamingo Reserve is a very important part of this project. The Eastern Waterfront Underground, so there's going to be a metro, and the relocation of BPCL, HPCL, RCF and Tata power plants outside Mumbai. And there's and some of the money that is being generated by this project will be used to finance a 2000 megawatt offshore wind turbine facility, either in Gujarat or in Tamil Nadu. Now coming to the next part of it, this is what is being currently developed. It's the phase 1 of the project and it should be ready by 2025. This is being developed under the Ministry of Shipping. But here I put in a Disneyland, but it could come up here, it could come up somewhere else. But this is the project that we are talking about. Here we've got, in addition to what is being thought about in phase 1, there's going to be a phase 2 project, which will include a large 18-kilometer long park into 400 meter wide. It will be the heart of Mumbai and the lungs of Mumbai. So, you know, it's like it's being developed on the lines of Central Park, New York. But only thing is, it's a very long park, and this is what it will also. It will have animals. It will have recreation facilities. There are a lot of things that are being planned in this area. Then there's going to be the relocation of these industrials outside Mumbai. So that is something that we are looking at, because these are very old plants and they need to be, you know, relocated outside the city. So, and to make the whole city a much safer place to live in. This is what the 2028 waterfront is going to look at. It's going to be a very, very nice area to be in. Now, why are we thinking of it in the waterfront on these lines and on this scale? See, in Hong Kong, the International Financial Center has a GDP of $274 billion today. In the case of Canary Wharf in the UK, the 97-acre site in Canary Wharf produces a GDP of 14.5 billion. Our view is that the Eastern waterfront of Mumbai will have a GDP anywhere between 150 to $200 billion by 2028. And coming to the central development concept, we are looking at Acharya Vinoba Bhave's Sarvodaya concept. So it's not the Dubai or China model. This is going to be spreading the wealth among the masses to really uplift society. So this is one of the main objectives of the project. So I'll show you how it is going to be done. Now, we have had severe unemployment. 18 million young people are going to be joining the job market. We've got drought in 12 districts of Maharashtra. So that is another thing that has to be, you know, looked at when you plan the project. So, and then the government of Maharashtra has a debt of 4,71,642 crores in March 2020. So the government of Maharashtra doesn't have any money to finance something like this. So we've thought about how we are going to finance it, and I'll come to that shortly. But what we are saying is we want to think about it in a very holistic manner. That is why I'm sharing all these details with you. This is something called urban equity withdrawal. So a certain amount, this is also a part of the Sahodaya project, where some of the money that is, you cannot have Mumbai just developing on its own. Some of that wealth must go into rural areas and must help to create jobs there and to help to create upliftment of the lives of the people there. So this is something that we are thinking about. We're thinking in terms of something like a 60,000 check dam project across Maharashtra, which will cost around 12,000 crores, and then 2,000 secondary schools and 300 hospitals, which will be part of the project proceeds. And I'll just presently come to you and show you how all of this was going to happen. So this is the 2,000 offshore megawatt offshore wind power project, which will be coming either offshore Maharashtra, or we are looking at high-speed wind locations like Gujarat, Saurashtra, and Tamil Nadu, where you've got very high wind speed. So the power will belong to the state of Maharashtra, and it will be wheeled by a exchange of power between Tamil Nadu and Maharashtra. So this power will be generated there, but it will be owned by the state of Maharashtra. Now, where will the money come from? This is very important. So kindly listen to this carefully. See, in October 2015, L&T made a proposal to government of Maharashtra, where L&T said that it will invest 30,000 crores in the project, and it will sell the this 93-acre plot in Bandra East for 1,25,000 crores. So it's something called urban equity withdrawal. This first, it was the World Bank that talked about this project, this concept, and I'm just including it here so that we've actually seen L&T make this proposal. So it's possible to generate a huge amount of money through redevelopment. So there are three mechanisms by which it happens. I will not go into the mechanisms there, but I'm just telling you that a project of this sort, which first L&T suggested in the Bandra East area in the Mada colony, can be used in much larger areas like Mumbai Port, Kolkata Port, and other places across India, and to create a large number of jobs and to create a large amount of industrial activity that we can do, right? So this is the basic concept. And as I said, L&T had said that it would invest 30,000 crores. It would sell the project in Bandra East at 1,25,000 crores. They were looking at a 5,000 crore rupee project management fee, and they were going to give the government of Maharashtra 70,000 crores in cash. So the project in a 93-acre plot was going to create 70,000 crores in free cash flow. And what we are talking in the Mumbai port area and the Eastern Waterfront is much larger than that. So you can imagine the kind of money that can be generated from a project of this nature. So my question is, if it's 93-acre plot in Bandra East could potentially unlock 70,000 crores in value, how much more value can be unlocked in cities across India? It's something to think about. Now, coming to the other part of the project, which is the why is it being done in South Mumbai? It is being done in South Mumbai because there's no other site like it in India. So there's a huge amount of capital that can be unlocked in this area. And once we do the project, it's going to make the world sit up and take notice. Now, there are three project execution concepts that I would like to talk about. The first, since the project involves multiple government and private sector agencies, so we need very extensive coordination and very proper coordination of the project. These are complex, these are complex knowledge-based projects, especially on the marine side. So we need to get in the best, marine consultants to do it. It also involves the location of several old plants. So that is the safety aspect of that needs to be looked at. Now, coming to concept number one. The first concept is about creating a large projects office. The UK government has this large projects office. It's staffed by 200 people, and it has got an execution mandate of 500 billion pounds sterling. So this project, which is staffed by 200 people, can manage 200 projects, and the total life cycle cost of the projects that it can manage. This is the office, the large projects office. It's currently led by a gentleman called Tony Meggs, and it reports to Mr. Boris Johnson, who's the Prime Minister of the UK. So we are going to have a similar project office to execute this project. Then we've got to have, in India today, banks are not aligned to the government strategy of growth. We need to change this. We have seen around the world where this has happened. It has created large things have been possible. For instance, Citibank and JP Morgan, Citibank financed the transatlantic cable. JP Morgan financed the Trans-Pacific Railroad. JP Morgan and Citibank helped finance the Panama Canal. Similarly, in the UAE, banks in the UAE, align themselves with the government of the UAE and they finance large construction projects. So when this is the second concept which we are talking about, which is important. Today, India's banks, you've got to go to the bank with your whatever proposal you got. We don't have a proactive nature stance within our banking system, which allows the banks to, the bank leadership to come and say that we will help you raise paper, and banks have a huge amount of money they can make. So this is a very, very profitable project for banks if they get involved and help to place this project's paper internationally. The third project is to involve foreign companies from from all over the world. So we'll have our developers, our large banks, our large developers, our large we will have large Indian banks, large Indian developers, large Indian EPC companies collaborating for their foreign counterparts to do this project. So there's going to be a lot of collaboration to get this thing done. And then what are the investment multiplier impacts of this? This project, since it's a construction project, it's got an investment multiplier of 3. So a project worth $45 billion at an investment multiplier of 3 will have an investment multiplier impact of $135 billion. It will create 3 lakh jobs in Mumbai and 6 lakh jobs across Maharashtra. It will also create a huge demand for manufactured goods, which is 15 million tons of steel, 15 million tons of cement, 20 billion worth of additional business for domestic manufacturers and construction material companies. It is going to lead to a safer city of Mumbai. There will be a new technology being adopted in this project. It will also create 30,000 new jobs in the US, EU, and Japan, and between 20 to 30 billion dollars of foreign investment by US, EU, and Japanese banks will be made in India. So there's going to be a large increase in the economic activity that happens as a result of this project. Finally, this is about me, I hope you've liked the project. Thank you very much.